What's going on, guys? Tony Maritato here. Welcome to eCourse Live. So this is kind of a fun thought experiment. It comes from Russell Brunson and the ClickFunnels team. What would I do if I lost everything and I wanted to rebuild back to better than where I am today? I want to rebuild beyond the success that I have today. What would I do? So it's a 30-day challenge, I think, is the way Russell Brunson did it. But anyway, let's talk about it. Let's make this a real conversation. So what happens if I am all of a sudden kidnapped, dropped in a new city? I have no personal contacts, I have no connections, I have no clinic, I have nothing, not even a provider contract. And day one, what's the first thing I do? I would jump online, I'd get on Google, I would start searching search terms like, let's say I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Okay, best surgeon in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Best licensed massage therapist, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Best yoga therapist, best Pilates studio. Best personal trainer. I would start going through sequentially, creating a list of all the names that show up for best of, and then whatever the professional designation is. Then I would go to those individuals and I'd say, hey, John, I'm new in the area, I'm a physical therapist, I'm starting my own private practice here, and I was doing some research online, and your name came up as best personal trainer in Winston-Salem. I'm starting a YouTube channel dedicated to highlighting the best of Winston-Salem, and I'd love to get you on the show for an interview. It's going to be a YouTube video, it's going to be a podcast. I'm going to get it out to all the local providers just to start building some recognition for local treasures in the Winston-Salem area. Would you like to join me? And I would do that for each of these individuals. Now, why am I doing that? I'm doing that, one, because it's free. I'm doing it too because it's giving me an intro to start building rapport with these individuals, get a sense for what do they want, how can I help them grow their business, their success. On the back end of that, I look at people that aren't listed as best of, and I reach out to them and I'm like, hey, Jeremy, I was doing some research. I was looking at best personal trainers in Winston-Salem. I noticed John was listed. You weren't listed. But if you want, I'd love to get you on my show, do an interview with you, start getting your name out there. I looked at your website. I looked at your Facebook profile. I think you're doing some really, really incredible things. And I think you are a hidden gem that the community needs to know about. So I would leverage this both ways. I'd go to the best of, get them on the show. I'd go to those that are not listed as best of, get them on the show. And as we start to build this rapport, then I would start to help them understand how I bring value to their situation. So I'll give you a classic example. We'll stick with personal trainers. I understand. I used to be a personal trainer. I understand the frustration of being a personal trainer, wanting to help your clients. Your client is dealing with some sort of chronic issue, shoulder, back, whatever. Client ends up going to see a orthopedic, gets a referral to physical therapy, goes to physical therapy. All of a sudden, I just lost that client as the trainer. But in a situation like I'm suggesting, what we would do is we would say, hey, John, I'm sure you're dealing with people that develop orthopedic issues. I'm sure you want to and can help them just as well as anybody else, but they get that referral. What you can do now is reach out to me. One of the programs that we offer is we're not trying to take your clients. If you reach out to me, I can do an evaluation through a telehealth platform. For now, that's covered through insurance. I can make recommendations, and the three of us, you, your client, and myself, can jump on a Zoom call, can do the evaluation, can develop the plan of care, and the programming can stay with you in the personal training world. Unless there's some major complicated red flag or something that needs the medical supervision that I might bring to the team, they can usually just stay with you because you have the rapport, the trust, the knowledge, the expertise, and carry out the program. I'll just make a couple recommendations that I think would influence and benefit the programming that you guys are already doing. but at least this way you have that connection with the client and you're going to get a better outcome than if they were to go to some random clinic down the street, right? And the same is true for massage therapists, Pilates studios, yoga instructors. Like a massage therapist who has a client with low back pain, who has a referral for physical therapy, the massage therapist and the client can get together, meet with me through a telehealth platform. I can do the evaluations, make recommendations. The massage therapist can keep that client in their studio and add some of the recommendations that I bring to the table. But this way they don't lose that client to another outpatient clinic, and I now become a value add as opposed to a threat, right? So obviously my top priority would be surgeons because they're cranking out tons of patients, surgeries, post-surgical cases that need my services on a daily basis. My second priority would be massage therapists, personal trainers, Pilates instructors, yoga, that kind of stuff. Then I would reach out and I'd look at highlighting local business leaders because they have staff and they have employees and they have money coming in. You know, one of the greatest things in working with business owners is for a team of 20, 30, 40 staff, they could bring me in 1-2 times a month. I can provide programming for them. They can pay me $500 to $1,000 an episode. It's a drop in the bucket relative to a $10, $15, $20 million a year business. But obviously that's enough to get me started, get my feet wet, and then those clients have friends and family and word of mouth referrals beyond that. So first thing I would do, start Googling best of blank in city and state. I would start reaching out to those individuals to get them on some sort of YouTube, podcast, interview, whatever. I would look at who's in second place, right? If you remember the old Avis Rent-A-Car commercial, they try harder because they were in second place. The second place, whoever's not best of, wants to be best of, probably just as good as best of, just hasn't had the exposure. So they may be more motivated. Then the next thing I would do is I would go into Groupon. So we've leveraged we've leveraged Google. Now we're gonna jump into Groupon. I'd start looking at chiropractors, massage therapists, anybody with something related to healthcare with a listing on Groupon. I would look at those listings. I'd compile those listings and create my own offer, leveraging what's already out there. So for example, here where I am, in pretty much any city in the country, you're gonna find a massage therapist who's willing to do a 60-minute massage for around $35. You're gonna find chiropractors who are willing to do initial exams and consults and adjustment for, whatever, 30, 60, $100. The value, what Groupon expects is those providers to offer pretty much like a 70% discount, 60% discount. So what I would do is I would go out, I would create a package. Maybe I'd get a Groupon offer for a local juice bar. I'd get a Groupon offer for local meditation. I'd get a Groupon offer for massage, a Groupon offer for chiropractic care. I'd compile those offers together along with mine. I would create the value of a $1,200 health and wellness package that at the end of the day might cost me a total of $300. I would put my $250, $300, $500 offer in with it. And so when I sell it, it's valued at $1,200. I sell it for $500. It cost me $300, assuming all of the services are utilized. But what typically happens? So let's say I have those four things. Let's say I have a juice bar, meditation, massage therapy, and chiropractic. The client comes to me first. I start with the initial eval. I develop the program and the plan of care. Maybe they never end up going to the juice bar. I don't have to buy the Groupon. I don't have to pay for the juice bar until the client's ready to go use it. Same for the other. Maybe they never go to the chiropractor. Maybe that's a $350 value that never gets realized because the patient decides, you know what, I just don't need it, and they don't go. I get the leverage of the offer, but I don't have the expense of paying for it, right? This is the amazing times that we live in. Now, of course, I could start with Groupon, then I can go straight to the provider. I can reach out to those individual businesses and say, hey, I found your listing on Groupon. This is what I'm doing. I'm creating a holistic package. I'd love to be able to provide the same offer you're giving Groupon. Now, Groupon's taking a percentage of what they're collecting. I won't even take a percentage. If you're willing to sell a $35 introductory massage, I will pay you full $35 for the $85 value. I won't take the Groupon cut, but I don't want to pay until the client has used the session. Then I will reimburse the $35, or once they book the appointment, I'll pay for the $35. So the idea in that is I gain maximum value of the offer while reducing the risk, the liability of having to pay for it if it doesn't get used. These are the things that, let's say this is the top 5% of, the total action plan that I would bring out if I was dropped in a new city, if I lost everything, if I had no contacts, no clinic, no contract with insurance payers, and I wanted to get the ball rolling again. If you guys want to hear about my strategy, starting from scratch, 0 to success, let me know. Tell me in the YouTube comments below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel. Like the video, share it, and I will promise to provide the next step in this series. But if nobody wants to hear it, I'm not going to waste your time or my time. Guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you on the next video.